On Friday afternoon, tomorrow, Prince Harry will be thousands of miles away in Las Vegas, preparing to launch a new youth leadership challenge in his mother's name, while three judges of the Royal Courts of Justice in London will determine whether he wins his appeal against the Home Office about his personal security. It's a moment thick with irony, symbolism, and the ghosts of past decisions. And it also shows that Harry knows what is important. What is important is history and the memory of his mother and the importance of putting duty first. And frankly, messing around with the Home Office is not duty. That's, in some ways, an indulgence, an important indulgence, and I hope he wins, because the Home Office and the people in Buckingham Palace who made these decisions, I think, acted wrongly, and it would be nice to know that the courts agree with me. Harry's legal battle with the British state stems from this 2020 decision made by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, RAVIC. And after Harry and Meghan stepped down as senior royals, RAVIC concluded that Harry no longer qualified for automatic police protection during visits to the UK. Harry disagrees. His legal team argues that he was unfairly singled out and subjected to an inferior and improvised bespoke process, denying him the equal protections afforded to other high-risk individuals. His barrister, Shahid Fatima KC, reminded the court that following his public criticisms of the Taliban, he became a target for jihadist threats, including a direct call by Al-Qaeda for his assassination. Now, the question before the court then is not merely whether Harry should receive security, it's whether due process was followed in determining the level of that security. And incidentally, while there'll be comments saying, oh yes, well, Harry brought it on himself, he was already targeted and had already been targeted in the past before he wrote his memoir. And where is the Duke of Sussex heading when this verdict is announced? Las Vegas, the very city that once immortalised a young Harry in tabloid infamy, grinning and fresh from a game of strip billiards in 2012. That's now the backdrop of his more sombre initiative, the Pledge to Invest, launched with the Diana Award. And this event, part of the ServiceNow's Knowledge 2025 conference, brings together Prince Harry, the charity's CEO Dr. Tessie Ojo, and two impressive young changemakers, Sikandar Khan, an AI expert and humanitarian, Christina Williams, a Jamaican lawyer and youth advocate. Their focus: how businesses can invest in youth leadership and create pathways to power for the next generation. This isn't just a redemption arc, it's a deliberate reorientation of legacy, and the same city that once symbolised royal recklessness now becomes a stage for responsibility. And the symbolism, I think, is profound. Harry is in Las Vegas not for a party, but to honour his mother, the late Diana, Princess of Wales, through one of the few institutions that still unites him with his estranged brother, William, the Diana Award. And you wonder why William isn't there as well. In a week when Harry finds himself yet again at odds with the British establishment, he returns to a cause that transcends tabloid fodder and palace protocol. This initiative isn't about security detail, it's about moral scrutiny, involving children, investing in children, creating future leaders, preserving the legacy of a woman who was once the most photographed, scrutinised and beloved figure on the planet. But here's the catch. As Harry speaks on stage about investing in the next generation, a panel of British judges will be deciding whether the British state itself has effectively divested of him or is invested in him. It's legal theatre at its most poetic. On one side of the Atlantic, a prince-turned-campaigner defends his family, his values and his safety, and on the other, barristers for the government argue that bespoke treatment, however idiosyncratic, is sufficient, perhaps even superior, and that he has to wait his turn when he wants to come to the UK. As the Home Office argues that Harry's security can be reviewed as needed, one can't help but notice the dissonance. If a British prince threatened by terrorists can't be guaranteed state protection unless he's in a palace or a press scrum, then what does that say about our understanding of national duty and dignity? So whether or not Harry wins this case, he's making his point both legally and morally. He's asserting that legacy should matter, that public service should not be punished, and that institutions where the courts or royal households must evolve or lose their legitimacy. And perhaps most intriguingly, he's doing it in Las Vegas. And he's putting Las Vegas above the the royal courts and the Court of Appeal. And that, I think, is the right perspective. Not that Las Vegas of tabloids and tumbles is important anymore. Well, I mean, it is important if you want newspaper headlines and cover photographs, but the Las Vegas of transformation, I think that is worth a photograph, and I think that is worth a mention. A prince remade, not by protocol, but by principle. And if Ravik won't offer protection, perhaps the best security Harry now possesses is the clarity of his mission and the knowledge that Diana's name still opens doors where Windsor ones have closed.